Hey friends, today I'm joined here by Anjula, an electrical and electronics engineering graduate from NIT Trichy. So we both graduated in 2021 and got admitted to the University of Toronto, but in different MS programs. I got admitted to MSc in Applied Computing, whereas Angela got into Master of Applied Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. And she joined last year itself, whereas I deferred my admit. So right now she is already in Toronto pursuing her MS. Hey Angela, thank you very much for taking out the time to join this podcast.
Hi Abdul, thank you so much for having me. The pleasure is mine.
Great. Yeah, it's nice to have you here. So, first of all, tell me, how's life in Canada?
Yeah, life in Canada is going great. It was really amazing coming to this new country, as intimidating as it was. It's a really different lifestyle and culture here, so there's a lot to learn, a lot to grow. So it's really nice. I'm enjoying it.
Great. That's great to hear. So, have you been visiting places there? Are you getting time to?
Yeah, I mean, I've not visited a lot of places, but some of the must-visit places that you see on YouTube and on the internet in and around downtown Toronto, I visited those places. I haven't really gone travel far. Like, there are a lot of beautiful places to visit if you travel 2 to 3 hours. I haven't got the time to go there, but hopefully sometime in the near future.
Yes, great. So, yeah, do you find it difficult to adjust to the cold climate there? The Great White North?
So far, it has been okay because I came in summer and then the temperature just kept dropping gradually. So I got accustomed to it, from summer to autumn to winter. And then if you have the proper clothing for each climate, you kind of get adapted to it. And there's heating in all the buildings and everything. So it hasn't been as difficult as I expected it to be.
Okay, great. So, yeah, how is Toronto in specific?
Toronto is compared to like other parts of Canada, this is like really lively, and because it's a city, there's a lot happening. And one thing about this place is that it caters to people from a lot of different. If whatever hobby you have, you can find a way to accomplish it in Toronto. So that's something really nice. And yeah, it's really lively. There's a lot to do here, and that's something I like about this place.
Nice, great. So, are you staying in the city or the suburbs?
Yeah, I'm staying in the city because the St. George campus is in downtown Toronto, and I'm just staying a 15-minute walking distance, so barely 1 to 1.2 kilometers from the campus. Yeah, so it is in the heart of the city.
Okay. So you are staying in the Greater Toronto area, right?
I wouldn't say GTA exactly. GTA is like maybe I have to travel like 20 minutes, but somewhere there.
Okay, cool. So how's the living cost there?
Yeah, if you were to compare it with other parts of Canada, definitely it's more expensive simply because it's in the city. But that's that's what everyone's paying when you're living over here. So you get initial 1 or 2 months, you might find it really expensive, but then you kind of get used to it.
Oh, okay. So what is the expense on a monthly basis for living and other expenses like food and everything?
So living, if you find a really good deal, you could get it for around 650 to 700. Otherwise, I would say around an 800 to a 1K budget would be like very comfortable. Definitely you'll find, but that's like the upper limit, I would say. But around 800, 850, you should be able to find a good place to stay, and monthly living expense will come to like $200 max per month. It shouldn't go beyond that.
Oh, okay. This is taking into consideration, cooking by ourselves, I believe, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Cool.
Because eating
So,
from outside is very expensive here, so it's not viable to eat outside very often.
Cool. So, yeah, have you taken up any part-time job?
I'm not doing a part-time, but this semester I'm a teaching assistant, so it isn't as hectic as a part-time job. It's just like 3 to 4 hours of work per week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing.
Oh, okay. And how's the pay for teaching assistantship there in Toronto?
Yeah, it pays really well compared to a part-time job. You get paid around $46
Oh,
per hour. That's the standard
yeah.
in the AC department. If you were to take up a part-time job, they pay around $10 to $15. So
Hmm.
compared to that, you get paid really well for a teaching assistant position.
Yeah, that's actually great. So around 3 to 4 hours per week, right? And
Right. So it's
nice.
around 60 hours in one semester. So
Hmm.
I know that's not a lot. Like people who do part-time, they work for almost 20 hours per week.
Yeah,
So yeah, when you say the net amount, like you might end up earning more in part-time because you're working more there.
exactly.
But yeah, teaching assistant, it's quite comfortable. It's not too hectic or anything.
Right, right. It's basically like, you work less, you get more. Maybe not as much as a part-timer,
Right.
but I would prefer teaching assistantship itself because, yeah, I mean, I'm not coming there to work, right, in the first place. First preference
Exactly.
is to study. So I'll have to try to
Exactly.
maximize my time in order to study.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, yeah, we all know about my reasons for choosing to study in Canada. What were yours?
Okay, so I always knew that I wanted to do a thesis-based program.
Mhm.
And for that very reason, the two most important factors for me was having a good guide and a good project. So I got both those really good offers from Toronto. I was really happy with my guide and the project after like my interviews with him. And this other factor would be I had applied to a few European and American universities. So in the long-term goal, Canada seemed to be a better option than both Europe as well as US.
Mhm.
And I would say the third factor would be a scholarship amount that I received from Toronto. So yeah, those are the three maybe.
Cool, cool, nice, nice. So yeah, by the long term, commitment and things, you mean like the PR opportunities here compared to H1B, I believe, right?
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Even like the immigration opportunities that I
Yeah,
don't know yet if I want to stay here in the long run, but at least I know that I have the option for it.
yeah,
But in Europe and US, it's really uncertain, you can say.
true, true. Yeah, that's correct. So, can you talk a little bit about the MASc in EC program at the University of Toronto?
Yeah, sure. So MASc is the Master of Applied Sciences and it's offered by the EC department. It's a thesis-based program. So what this means is that 50% of your credit is for coursework and the rest 50% is for your thesis work. And during your first year of study, that's basically from during the fall and the winter season sessions, you have to finish 5 coursework. So you can take 2, 3, or 3, 2, whatever works.
Mhm.
And the next one year, that is from summer till the next summer, period of 12 months is reserved for just thesis work.
Thesis.
So you have to like really work on your thesis, give your proposal, and then finally defend your thesis. And yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay, cool, cool. So it's a 2-year program altogether, right? 24 months in
Yeah,
total.
exactly.
Cool, cool. So, yeah, what motivated you to apply for this program?
More than the program, it was the research fields that were offered in UofT. So I'm personally interested in power systems and renewable energy, and a lot of universities do not have a strong research group for
Mhm.
power systems. And UofT was one of the very few universities that had really good professors and really good research going on that I was interested in. So
Uh-huh.
that was the key driving factor for me. And this program in specific is just because it was the only thesis-based option available here. I didn't want to go
Okay.
for PhD.
Yeah.
So yeah, master's with thesis.
Nice, nice. Good, good stuff. So it's been close to 5 months since you joined the Master of Applied Sciences program there. So how's it going so far?
Yeah, it's going great. Like you hear a lot about master's program, but it is hectic, like everyone says. But the best part is there is a lot of learning from it. At the end of one semester, I just had 2 courses, but I felt like I learned a lot from it. Here, they focus a lot on concepts, and I think that's a general trend in both US and Canada. So you have a lot
Mhm.
of assignments that are given to solidify your concepts, and the more time you put into it, the more you get out of it. So yeah, like the coursework in general is a bit hectic because every week you have deadlines, every week you have assignments. It doesn't get too crazy, but towards the end it does get like really hectic. But otherwise, you can manage your time it well. It's fine.
And by the end, you mean at the end of a semester, right? When you
At
have
the
all
end of
the
a
exams.
semester, exactly.
Okay.
By the end of a
Okay.
semester.
Cool, cool. So yeah, I always wonder, do they, consider the exams as the primary? I mean, which one of these has more weightage? The exams or the weekly projects and assignments that you get?
Right. It depends on the course because last time I had one subject for which 50% was for assignments and project, 50% was for the final exam. But this semester I do not have any exams. It's only assignments and project work. So it really depends on the professor, on the course, on the class strength, a lot of factors. It varies.
Okay. So it's super flexible, depends on the prof altogether.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, is it academically challenging? Like, are you finding it, challenging compared to NIT Trichy?
Definitely because you're learning a lot more in depth about one particular subject. And I find the thesis part of it a bit more challenging because it's completely individual. Like I have weekly interactions with my guide, which is really helpful. He gives a lot of insights, but apart from that, I do not really have anyone else working with me. Everything that goes into thesis is my own research, my own work. So that aspect I find a bit challenging because courses you do have classmates or someone to discuss with. But apart from that, I wouldn't say it's really different from undergrad, just a step higher maybe.
Okay. I'm asking this because you are from the Triple E department, which is considered the most grinding type of department, right? In our college at least. So yeah.
I think that prepared me for this.
Great. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, even EC was quite competitive, I would say. Quite a lot competitive, in fact.
Exactly. I think the circuital branches in general was quite competitive.
Yeah. True. They were all really math heavy, as far as I remember, specifically signals and all the electronics things. So, yeah. So, yeah, when did you move to Canada?
I came here, I think, August 30th, 2021.
Oh, August 30th, right at the beginning of fall, right? Fall 2020.
Yeah, just a week before my semester began, I reached here.
Okay. So, yeah, what was your experience like during this entire traveling during the pandemic?
For me, it was quite comfortable because I traveled from the Middle East. We did not have too many travel restrictions. I think people coming from India, they had some difficulties. For me, thankfully, it was quite comfortable, just that it took a lot of time in the airport because they were really strict with people who were entering the country. So they took a lot of time to verify all the documents and all of that. But that was just after reaching in Canada. So I think it took me almost 2 hours in the airport to get everything sorted. But rest of my journey was quite comfortable.
Oh, okay. And you said you traveled from Middle East. Okay, even I stayed in Middle East at one point in time. So, I mean, before the colleges began at NIT Trichy. So where are you from exactly in Middle East?
I'm from Kuwait.
Oh, okay. I am from Saudi Arabia. I mean, I was there. So, yeah. Now my family has shifted back to India.
Oh, so you did till 12th in Saudi and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I was in Kuwait till 12th and then.
Cool. So did you also write SAT subject tests? Physics, chemistry, math. Oh, cool. Yeah, even I did that. Great. And yeah, did you prepare for JEE? Sorry, not GRE, JEE?
I did prepare. I did write it also. I got to JEE Advanced, but then my score for JEE Main was not good enough to get me into Triple E in any of the NITs. So use my SAT score itself.
Yeah, same. Even I didn't prepare for JEE. I just wrote it because everybody else was writing, and I mean our class, our school organized, and they were like, okay, we are going to have a bus drop you to the capital city, Riyadh, and then you can write a test there if you want. So you're like, cool. Yeah, all of my friends, like, okay, chalo, cool. And so, yeah, I remember I didn't prepare even a bit. I didn't prepare even a bit, and yeah, I ended up getting the highest score in the in that year. I mean, in that in my school, but yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
because
high enough, yeah, to get an
huh.
ITs and all, but yeah, just basic.
I think even I gave it like simply just gave it a shot for the sake of it.
Yeah,
Then yeah.
I was a bit more focused on SAT. I just got it done. I remember during the vacation itself there. I got some time in the vacation, so I prepared for like a month max, and I was able to get the full score in the first attempt itself. So I didn't write it another time, and so after that, I was just like simply focusing my time on
Board exams, right?
board exams, which
Yeah.
didn't have any impact on my life. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, cool. So yeah, did you face any issues during the travel or visa processes?
Not really. Like I said, because I applied from the Middle East and I traveled from the Middle East, it was quite comfortable, I should say. I didn't really
Okay.
face major issues.
Oh, okay, okay. So, did you apply through the SDS visa process or non-SDS?
And non-SDS.
Non-SDS. Oh, okay. So you must have written what, TOEFL or IELTS?
I had written TOEFL because I applied to US and most of them
Okay,
like
cool,
prefer
cool.
TOEFL.
Yeah, same, here, same. Even I'm going to apply to non-SDS.
Yeah, I think that's like SDS requires so many documents, and I feel like it was more fast.
Yeah, can you just tell me the like brief timeline of when you applied for visa and when you were able to get it?
Yeah, I think I applied before May 15th because I remember there was a deadline given on the website that we should
Okay.
apply by May 15 in order to get the visa by August 15th because of the pandemic and all. There was a lot of delays, so they had given a 3-month time frame back then. So I applied, I think around May 10th, and only once you give your biometric, your visa application is considered to be completed, right? So I had given the biometric by May 11th or 12th, and it took me 2 months. I think after 1.5 months, I got my passport request, and then it had to go to Dubai to get it stamped, and then it came back within a week. So I think it took almost 2 months.
Oh, okay. So, 2 months non-SDS is quite fast. As in, I asked some other people who applied last year, but they applied from India. So, there's this entire process took like 4 to 5 months. So I think it depends on the country also where you're applying from.
It depends because when I checked with them, they said like when applying from Kuwait, it's all processed in Abu Dhabi. So it's a bit faster than when applying from India because the number of applicants are lesser.
Really high. Yeah, here in India they're really high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, that's a new thing I learned today. So yeah, moving on. What is the tuition fee for the MASc NEC program at UofT?
Yeah, so the tuition fees comes to around 28K per annum.
Okay.
So it's a 2-year program, so the same amount for 2 years.
Okay. Cool. 28K per annum, right? Yeah.
Right.
It's good. And yeah, how are you planning to? I mean, not planning, obviously. How are you financing your study?
Right. So the good thing about the MASc program is that if you get an offer, you're guaranteed a full funding.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So thankfully, I got it, and because of that reason, it's very competitive to get in because every professor takes maybe 1 or 2 students per academic year. And based on their funding, they decide the number of students that they take in both masters as well as PhD. So if you get admitted, it's guaranteed that you're a fully funded student.
That's great. That's great. So it's a fully funded program altogether, right? Once you get it, nice.
Yes.
Nice. So also, like apart from this funding, like did you also receive any scholarships there at UofT?
I didn't really apply for anything else because this
Okay.
covers both my tuition and living expenses.
Oh, okay. That's a great
Yeah.
deal. Yep. So can you briefly discuss the technical aspects of your profile, like your projects, internships, and research papers?
Okay, so I only did research internships during my undergrad simply because I wanted to get a better understanding of where my interest lied.
Mhm.
So I did 3 research internships. One was at IIT Kharagpur, which was through a fellowship program, and another one
Mhm.
was in Germany. And then I didn't have any publications as such, but I think I had substantial results and work for my internships as well as my bachelor thesis project, which
Okay.
actually played a very important role in my application. So I would say 4 major projects.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you told the first one was through a fellowship program. I think it's second year, the second year internship, right?
Right.
Some I don't remember
The
the name, but some IITs and
SRFP,
yeah, SRFP
Summer
exactly.
Research Fellowship Program.
Yes, yes, yes. And the second one was German. You told, right?
Yeah,
German. So where
I got,
exactly did you do it? Did it? Yeah.
I did it at RWTH Aachen. I
Mm-hmm.
had an offer from both Ryerson University through my tax as well as
Okay. Okay.
RWTH, but then, anyways, because of the pandemic, everything shifted online, and
Mm-hmm.
I preferred the project at RWTH. Like I personally felt that topic was more relevant to me, so
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead with that project.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Even I remember. I got an internship during my third year. Even I got a German internship itself, and it was a TUM, but I
Oh,
had to
okay,
do it remotely because of the pandemic,
pandemic.
everything. Yeah. Great. So, yeah. Can you share your GRE and TOEFL or IELTS scores? I mean, yeah, you wrote TOEFL, right? So GRE and TOEFL
Yeah.
scores.
So GRE I had a 331 on 340, and TOEFL I had 118 on 120.
Oh, they are really good scores. Nice.
Thanks. Yeah, got lucky
And
with that.
cool. And yeah, apart from the technical stuff, what extracurriculars did you have on your profile at the time of applying?
Um, okay, yeah, I was a part of Toastmasters International, which is a public speaking and leadership club for 4
Mm-hmm.
years. And apart from that, I was content head for the Tripoli Association, NIT.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done a few volunteering things at 2 to 3 organizations. So that was pretty
Nice,
much all my extracurricular.
nice, nice. No, they're really great. And yeah, what was your CGPA at the time of applying?
CGPA was, I think, around 9.48, something like that.
Yeah, that's very high. That's considering triply, I can say.
Thank you.
And yeah, what according to you was the highlight of your profile when you applied, obviously?
I really think it was the research projects I did because I had like 3 to 4 interviews. I think 3 interviews at UofT, then 2 others at other universities. The entire discussion revolved around my research work just because I was applying for a research-based program. And the profs are more interested to know about that. I think that was really the highlight of my profile.
Oh, okay. And yeah, you talked about 3 interviews at UofT. So yeah, can you briefly talk about the admission process that you went through to get a research-based program there?
Right. So the basic application is common as um, any other master's program. You know, the SOP, LORs, all that is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And in your SOP, you need to mention the profs that you would like to work with, what you like in their work, or why you think you're suited to that research group. You need to really mention that and try to get it across to the
Yeah.
professors why you're a good candidate. And I had written 3 professors, I believe, on my SOP. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the professor invited me for the first interview. And I think through our discussion, he realized that it would be better if another prof guided me because
Okay.
our research interests were not fully aligned. So he connected me to the other prof on my SOP, and then I had
Okay.
2 interviews with him, following which I got the offer.
Oh, okay. So are these research, I mean, thesis-based programs usually like involve, do they involve these kind of interviews where your guide takes an interview, I mean, your future guide usually takes an interview with you
Yeah, I
first?
think once I discussed with the people who got in, most of them had an interview simply
Mhm.
because, like, you're getting admitted as a fully funded student. So the prof really needs to make sure that you are interested in his work, you're
Mm.
interested to work with his research group, and that he would be able to support you in the best possible way and all that. So I think,
Right.
yeah, it's almost guaranteed that you'll be having an interview before you
Okay.
get your offer.
Nice. So what other MS programs did you apply to?
Yeah, so I applied, like I said, only to thesis-based master programs. I applied to 3 universities in Europe. That was ETH Zurich, KTH Sweden, and
Mhm.
TU Delft.
Okay.
And in the US, I applied to UIUC, Georgia Tech, UT Austin, Texas A&M, and Virginia Tech, and of course, UofT in Canada.
Okay. Okay. So UofT was the only university you applied in Canada, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. And yeah, out of these, where all did you get admitted to?
Yes, I got an admit from almost all the universities. From UIUC and Virginia Tech, I got an offer for a non-thesis based master's. The
Okay.
remaining, I got offers for thesis based master's.
Oh, nice. That's a really, I mean, good proportion of acceptance to application ratio, I would say. Mine was 50%. Yeah. I applied to like 8 programs and got from 4 of them.
Yeah, I think a few of my universities are kind of too safe. So,
Oh,
yeah, came out good.
yeah. I think, yeah, in US, I think you applied to safe universities. I mean, uh,
Yeah, the thing is, like, our
mm,
power energy group is not there in a lot of universities. So, like, even the top universities in US, like, if you take Stanford or Berkeley, none of them have a good power group. So that was
okay.
one really difficult part of this, like, my application. Like, if you're in electronics or VLSI or anything related to computers, you have a lot of opportunities. But for power engineers, we have very, like, limited good universities with good research groups.
Okay. 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 Cool, cool. So yeah, you made a smart decision, I would say. Yeah, going after the research interest, not just the
Yeah.
university name, I would say. So that's a good decision. And yeah, so a significant portion of my audience aspires to get into some sort of thesis-based MS program in Canadian universities. I've been getting a lot of such DMs. So would you like to give them a public advice?
Yeah, sure. I think if you're aiming for a thesis-based program, it's really important to have good research work during your undergrad because that's the only indicator that the admission committee or professors have when they look at your profile. So I would say, like, try to identify your interests as early as possible, and if possible, do some good research projects. It will be really amazing if you can get a publication. If even if you don't, try to get some really good outcome and results that you
Mhm.
can talk about during the interview or you can mention about in the SOP. So because the learnings is what really matters. So if you're able to get it across that you learned this and this, then that's really amazing.
Cool, nice. And apart from that, what would you say about the academics and all? Like, should they focus on academics or more on projects?
Yeah, academics is equally important just because like I said, in UofT, the MASc program has very limited students that are admitted
Hmm.
each year, and you're competing with international applicants. So to really stand out, you need to have both good academics as well as a good amount of research. I would say, like, if you have a lot of publications and everything, maybe they might be a bit more relaxed on the CGPA, but otherwise, it would always be good to have both on the higher end.
Yes, totally agreed. Cool. So yeah, the final question: what are your future plans after graduating from UofT?
Yeah, at the moment I want to work in industry. I'm still confused if I should work in the power system industry, or right now my project is based on electric vehicles, which I find really interesting. So either maybe as a power system analyst or something, or maybe in the electric vehicle industry as planning of grid integration, something that I'm still figuring out what I want to do.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Even I'm still figuring out. I don't know what exactly intrigues me right now. I mean, I have been working, as an AI sort of not researcher, I would say, but intern in most of my bachelor's. But after that, right now, I'm working as a web developer, and I'm liking this also, I'm liking that also. So I don't know what to work on. It's just that, okay, I'm picking up skills, I'm learning something new. It's fine. I'm having fun. That's what matters.
Exactly. That's what I was like. I have time. I have 1 year. By then.
Cool. So Anjula, thanks a lot for being here with us and sharing your experiences. We learned a ton from you today, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abdul. Like, I really enjoyed doing this, and wish you also all the best.
Thanks a lot. It was nice having you here. So guys, that's it for today. And if you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below, or you can directly contact Anjula via LinkedIn or Instagram. Look into the video description for more details. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.